Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the AEW Dynamite review for the 18th of November 2020. Can't believe that Dynamite will be on the air for the 2021 season here pretty soon. Anyway, Dynamite results are really pretty cool. Lots of good stuff on Dynamite this week. It's weird when I watch Dark and Dynamite within a couple days of each other or the same day. Which I mean, I watched them on their respective airing nights and just catching up with recording because I've had a busy couple days. But just comparing, it feels like two different shows. Anyway, we open with a top flight video package, footage from their independent appearances. They're 19 and 21 or something like that, and they are Darius and Dante Martin. They're an independent team. Basically, the idea is they uh, reached out to the Bucks on social media, asked for an opportunity, and got it. And they are here. Top flight have a lot of potential. Amazed that two guys under 22 are on Dynamite, but this is cool. They haven't had enough matches to be really good, but they've got phenomenal athletic ability, and Dante especially stands out as a big time guy. Weird that the new champions would be in a non-title match with relative no names and give them this much offense. It literally is a spot fest. I'm not going to cover every spot because, well, A, it gives you reason to go watch the match if you're into bing, 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 bing style. Nick and Darius start off, though, and Nick does his general opening sequence, but Darius is able to counter him. Matt and Dante come in, and Top Flight hits a couple of kicks uh, before nailing Nick off the apron. Top Flight looks like they're going for dive, but chooses to backflip and showboat. Kind of dumb, but hey, if I'm on national TV for the first time, I might showboat too. Nick gets a blind tag and hits Dante with a super kick. Matt hits a drop kick through the ropes onto Darius before the Bucks isolate what I believe is Dante. Bucks hit frequent tags as a good team should. I don't like the Bucks. I'm going to be very honest. They're not my style of wrestlers, but I understand their appeal. They're the Hardy Boys 20 years later. I get it, but I'm interested to read their book. I'd like to know more about them as people. It might change my view of them in general. Anyway, so that's on my to read list at some point. Um, Nick gets a blind tag, and uh, then basically we see a sharpshooter, a power bomb on Dante onto his own brother. Bucks set up for the Meltzer driver. Dante fights out of it, which was cool. He makes a one-man comeback, reaches his brother for the hot tag. Darius hits some clotheslines and a Spanish fly. Nick breaks all of this up. Darius hits a top rope dive, and then Dante hits Tope con Hilo onto the Bucks on the outside. Dante barely makes it over the top rope, which was scary. Um, Matt avoids a dive and hits a spear. Matt tags in, dispatches Darius with a kick, and the Bucks hit sliced bread powerbomb combination before Darius breaks up the pin. Bucks go for more bang for your buck, but Dante counters that into a crucifix pin for a great near fall. Then the Bucks hit the BTE trigger for the win. I mean, awesome match. TH2 comes out. They beat down Top Flight. Bucks chase them away. I assume this leads to TH2 and the Bucks somewhere down the line, which to me it's a waste, but meh. Anyway, Inner Circle in Vegas. This is all comedy. MJF is trying to be friends with Jericho and Santana. Sammy Guevara and Ortiz basically resist him. Hager and Wardlow, they never take their eyes off each other. That'll be a hoss fight when it finally happens. MJF and Jericho compete to see who orders the most alcoholic drinks. That's kind of funny. A very old looking Conan appears, and the inner circle uh, depart a smoke free car. Piff the Magic Dragon was there, uh, and we get a to be continued message. Anyway, I don't know. I mean, this is goofy in the right way. It's not my thing, but at the same time, I can laugh at it and go, where the heck is this going? It's like slapstick comedy. You laugh because it's so random, and I enjoy it in small doses. It does have a place on a wrestling show as long as it's not every segment, and it doesn't need to be done every week. John Moxley cuts a promo. He basically says he took his dad's advice, and that's why he's a good champion. He said the whole world is bearing down on him, and he's got a broken body and a pregnant wife. But he remembers his dad reminding him that they're the good guys. He's the best wrestler in the world, and his dad's son. This was a really cool promo. I don't know that it was going too far in terms of pushing us towards the idea of Kenny Omega, but yeah, it's a relatable promo that makes John Moxley likable, and if he's your current champion, that's a good thing. Obviously, Renee being pregnant is worth everybody celebrating if that's something they were hoping for. So good for them. Orange Cassidy with best friend to defeat Kip Sabian with Penelope Ford. Miro joins in on commentary. Sabian's a guy that I don't. He's English and average and nothing to write home about. I don't like having Miro with him because I think it's a waste of Miro. I don't necessarily understand what his appeal is to the point of giving him a contract when you could probably bring over two guys or two girls or a combo of both for the same price that have more of an upside. I just don't get it. As for Orange Cassidy, he turned me, so maybe at some point Kip Sabian can do the same, but I don't see it yet. Anyway, Cassidy's prevented from putting his hands in his pockets. He's controlled with headlocks early. Cassidy makes a tope with his hands in the pockets later. Ford tries to stop Cassidy from getting back in the ring. Sabian takes advantage with a kick and a gut buster for a near fall. Ford taunts Cassidy on the floor. Sabian counters and continues his beatdown during the break. This is meh. They fight on the top rope. Cassidy pushes Sabian off, lands across body. Cassidy misses a diving DDT. He gets back on offense, though. Sabian rolls to the outside to avoid the orange punch. Stumbles into a springboard, but he manages to recover pretty okay. Sabian hits a brainbuster and a soccer kick for near fall. I hate the use of a brainbuster when it's not a finish. I don't like the move anyway, but if it's going to be used, use it as a finish. I don't like it because it's dangerous, and I've been around when guys got hurt on it. A Michinoku driver follows for a decent near fall. Cassidy comes out with a swinging neck breaker, comes out with an inside cradle. He locks on the mousetrap for the pinfall. Miro lays out Cassidy post-match, but best friends chase him away, and they're celebrating. They do the hug spot, yada yada. Yeah, it's okay. December 2nd edition of Dynamite is going to feature Moxley and Omega and is being billed as Winter is Coming. Doesn't that technically mean winter is here? They do the contract signing, or at least they try to. Omega makes his crazy heel entrance. Moxley doesn't come out. He's been jumped backstage, laid out, bloodied, and all that stuff. He's being attended to by the doctor. And Omega signs the contract. Moxley does not. I wonder if that goes anywhere. Who knows? Worth watching next week to find out. The Inner Circle does Vegas continues. Inner Circle is all drunk now. There's an Elvis impersonator. Yes. and he is welcomed as a member of the Inner Circle again. Yes. So MJF says he loves the Inner Circle like blood brothers. Basically, Sammy Guevara takes that in the Latin gang style way and basically offers to cut off an appendage to prove his blood brotherhood. Um, MJF notes that there's a full moon. They all howl at the moon. Jericho wakes up the next morning in bed with the Elvis impersonator. I can't make this up. MJF wakes up in a bathtub. He approaches Guevara and is shown to have Guevara's writing all over his face. Santana's hanging out with chickens. And they heard crying in another room. The crying is coming from Swoggle, who's dressed in a diaper, and this just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, I guess it's a movie reference I don't get. Anyhow, back on Dynamite, Jericho joins commentary and announced that he and Hager will face SCU next week. This is so a segment I don't care for is up next. Pac versus the Blade with the Butcher and the Bunny. Bringing Pac back after 8 or 9 months away. Do you really have to waste him with the Blade? The Blade's another guy. Maybe he'll turn me someday, but at this point, he's a early 2000s indie guy who got lucky to be on TV, and I don't see why they're putting him on national television. Anyway, Eddie Kingston comes out. He does the commentary thing. This is Blade's first one-on-one match. He controls the majority of the match. Pac looks like a pretty intense guy. He hasn't really lost a step. I think they could do more with him. I also think that in an overbloated roster, he's going to get lost in the shuffle, but we'll see. And then Pac levels Blade in the early beginning, beats him down with stomps and kicks and the like. He sends the Blade into the barricade and he hits a missile drop kick when he gets him back in the ring. Pac and basically takes advantage of both of them with a baseball slide. Blade hits a reverse brainbuster, which Pac's landed awkwardly, and Pac goes for a slingshot DDT, and that doesn't hit either. They just are not hitting well here. Bunny grabs Pac's leg, and Butcher attacks from behind. Blade hits a gut wrench powerbomb for near fall. After the break, Pac fires up with forearms and a pump kick. He hits a thrust kick, but they go into a power slam for near fall. They fight on the top rope. Pac wins the exchange after a superplex, and Bunny distracts Pac again. Bunny's doing more now than she's done in months. Pac hits a black arrow. Butcher tries to attack. Pac dispatched him. Blade rolls that with a handful of tights, gets a near fall, and Pac kicks out, hits a shooting star press, and applies the brutalizer for the submission victory. Post-match, Pac grabs the mic and addresses Kingston. Butcher lays him out. Butcher and Blade beat Pac down. Kingston makes fun of him. Ray Phoenix runs out and makes the save, solidifying his split from Kingston. Butcher, Blade, and Kingston are too much for them. Penta makes his way out with a steel chair, and he's attacking his brother before heading towards Kingston and sending them running. So I guess the Lucha Brothers and Pac are back together, and Butcher, Blade, and Kingston are there. Kingston loses influence that way, certainly. Shivani goes into the ring, and they acknowledge Jade Cargill beating up Brandy Rhodes, Vicky Guerrero, and Nyla Rose, and Big Swole appears to break that up. I don't necessarily know where this is going. They do a decent match next, though, with Serena Deeb defeating Thunder Rosa in an NWA Women's Championship match. Really good championship match. They do a little too much with it. Solid chain wrestling early. Rosa gains an advantage. Hits an arm drag into a senton. Hits a hip attack on the apron. Deeb catches her and hits a dragon screw. Leg whip to take control. Despite it all, the announcers plug the NWA and Billy Corgan, and they do so favorably. So they acknowledge Impact and the NWA. Now, if they acknowledge Ring of Honor, they'll basically acknowledge every company but WWE, and that is good for business and good for the sport. Rosa fights back with a drop toe hold and repeated corner clotheslines. Deeb hits a neckbreaker over the ropes and hits a spear, followed by a GTS, and nails a German suplex. Deeb gets sent to the outside after a missile dropkick. Rebel comes out and distracts the referee. Dr. Baker lays out Rosa. I assume this leads to Rosa and Baker, which would just be totally cool. Deeb lands a powerbomb for near fall. They exchange cradles. Deeb comes back again and puts on the Koji clutch. Rosa fights out with a double stomp. Rosa is just masterful, but she's got that MMA background too, so that helps. Deeb comes back with a modified Angel's Wings, gets the 3 count, retains her championship. Rosa attacks Baker post-match, and the referees have to break up the fight. Dark Order's John Silva is backstage with Anna Jay. He's being hyper and goofy and looks like he's had about 7 energy drinks. He reveals that Brody Lee demands a championship match for Anna Jay. Hakura Shida, there we go. And Jay will fight next week. This is her first fight as a member of the Dark Order in a championship way. Pac and Ray Phoenix versus the Butcher and the Bladers announced for next week. Darby Allin video package airs inside a church. He sets himself on fire, and that is that. We go to the main event, which is good. Team Taz, Brian Cage, and Ricky Starks defeats Cody Rhodes with Arn Anderson and Darby Allin. Taz joins commentary. Starks and Allin wrestle basically and square off as an even exchange. They exchange slaps early. Cody fires up, hits a Thez press. Cody and Cage come in. They each go for big moves. They each hit big moves. Cody hits a moonsault press for near fall. Taz leaves the commentary desk, makes his way to ringside. Taz breaks up a Cody flurry of offense when he basically tries to toss a chair into the ring. Arn Anderson tosses the chair and gets ejected from the ringside area. Cage and Starks isolate Cody with frequent tags. This is a classic tag match style. Cody reaches Allin for the hot tag. Allin runs wild on Team Taz. And then we see a German suplex on Starks. Cage comes in and suplexes both Cody and Darby. Cody cuts him off with a disaster kick. Gets nailed with a spear in the process. Allin hits a shotgun dropkick and fights out of a powerbomb. Hits a Yoshi Tonic for a near fall. I will say Darby Allin is getting better and better. I think Darby Allin might be the first. Well, Darby Allin and MJF tied for the first AEW-based stars. Anyway, Starks goes for Rochambeau. Cody cuts that off, hits the crossroads. Cage hits Allin with a spinning clothesline and hits a salto suplex on Cody. Cage sets Allin on the top rope. Allin fights out. Starks stops a coffin drop. Cage hits an avalanche drill claw and pins the TNT champion. So obviously that sets up Cage and Allin at some point, which would be a really good match. And if you go back to one of the Battle Royals on the pay-per-views, I believe there was a spot between the two of them. So great long-term storytelling. Anyway, post-match, Team Taz continues their beatdown. Will Hobbs runs out with a chair to make the save. He picks up the FTW Championship and attempts to make fun of Team Taz. Turns around and lays out Cody. Hobbs has joined Team Taz, and they all stand over Cody and Allin to end the show. AEW still leaps and bounds the best American wrestling product week to week. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.